So we continue our discussion and satsang on Kriya Yoga and Bijamantra tradition. And my guru was Yogi Ramaya, who was born 1923 and passed away 2006. And I was fortunate enough to spend approximately 10 years with him in 90s. And of course, Yogi Ramaya now, like more and more people, make videos about him and write books about him. He was direct disciple of Mahatma Babaji and some other immortal Himalayan masters, including Nagaraj Babaji and Goraknath Babaji, etc. And in our previous satsang, we actually already discussed that in 50s and 60s, he spent years in Himalayas, in the area of Badrinath, in Kedarnath, receiving instructions on meditation of Kriya Yoga and Bijamantra tradition. And his mission was to teach very limited number of people. That's the reason why he was really genius how not to become famous. Normally we say that, people wish to become famous and that's the goal. How to become successful, famous. But sometimes it so happens that some special mystics, they really successfully try not to become famous. And in 19th century, that was Lahiri Baba, by the way. Lahiri Baba was really great guy not to become famous. And if you remember, I'm sure you remember all that interesting stories, how different rulers and powerful people from North India were trying to make Lahiri Baba famous, but he was rejecting that. Because his mission was, Lahiri Baba, to stay private. And more or less the same happened with Yogi Ramaya, because, even when he came here to the United States, 1968, quite few American disciples at that time in the 70s gave him a lot of advices how to become famous. And it was easy, by the way, because just imagine Indian yogi with supernatural power who is saying that, proclaiming, I'm a direct disciple of immortal yogis. Just 5 minutes, you are very famous. But he was staying private because that was his mission. And it looked like some kind of similarity was between Lahiri Baba and Yogi Ramaya in this sense. Both of them were very close disciples of immortal masters, and both of them choose to stay far from crowd. Maybe not really good to call people crowd, but anyway. And at the same time, we have masters who are, in a classical sense, Kriya Yoga masters, like Yogananda or Kriyananda, and some masters who are teaching, actually preaching, Kriya Yoga tradition, but they're not classical Kriya Yoga masters. Like, you can easily see elements of Kriya Yoga in the case of so-called Sadguru Jagi Vasudev. In a classical sense, he is not Kriya Yoga master. But anyway, he is a great person, great philosopher, great mystic, and he is teaching Kriya Yoga. And also some parts of Kriya Yoga you can see in a tradition of Sri Ravi Shankar and in Bihar school of yoga, and each and every guru, master has his or her personal agenda, personal mission. And when Yogananda came to the United States, it was 1920, and he really changed many things in Kriya Yoga. For example, he normally never mentioned about Kichari Mudra, the special position of the tongue. Only for the very limited number of his disciples, but for the public, Yogananda never spoke about Kichari Mudra, the special position of the tongue. That was okay because Yogananda really made Kriya Yoga easy way to meditate, because original Kriya Yoga, it's not easy one, not for everyone. Yeah. And now we have like Kriya Yoga in a way how Sri Ravi Shankar, or so-called Sadhguru, is teaching. It's also nice because it's like much more simple approach. And the Swami Vishwananda from Germany, much more simple approach. And that's good because, sometimes people need simple kind of Kriya Yoga meditation just to start. And as I actually told so many times, that sometimes people try to practice advanced techniques and they can't to manage it, and then result is just almost zero. But maybe sometimes it's much better to start with a so-called simple kind of Kriya Yoga, but really practice. And then you may experience transformation, spiritual and on all levels. And actually, in the end of 90s, okay, as I mentioned, again, 90s I spent in India, and it was mostly two ashrams, Yogi Ramayana and Sathya Sai Baba. And fortunately, it was like neighboring states, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, South India, both. And in the end of 90s, Yogi Ramayana told me a really mysterious thing. He told me that, okay, like one day you will teach Kriya Yoga. And at that time, for me, it was a kind of wow, shock. Because for me, Kriya Yoga was and is so serious that it was outside of my comfort zone for sure. Even to dream to teach Kriya Yoga. And now I think that many people don't understand responsibility about this. Because, yeah, okay, I like pranayama and hatha yoga, but it's not a big deal to teach hatha yoga and pranayama. Okay, if you know something, that's enough. But the Kriya Yoga is a really huge responsibility. And for me, like in the end of 90s, was something unbelievable and really outside of my plans to teach. But he told me that, okay, like one day you will teach. Later on, you will experience this, and you will understand. That's the time. And actually, Yogi Ramayana passed away 2006, and it was in Malaysia, Guru Purnima festival. It just went into the meditation, and that was the end. And it was nice that great masters, they also use any event for the instruction. Even death is the chance to instruct people. And he was conscious in life and he was conscious in death. It was Guru Purnima, the festival of the gurus, and just went into the meditation, and that was the end. And I remember it was 2006, and in that time, according to my knowledge, he came into the mystical dreams to some people, including me, and he just told, I left my body, see you next time. No, I mean, of course I'm joking, yeah. And okay, it was a huge unsolved question, because when he left this world, it was absolutely unclear for him what I have to do. And I believe that for some of his disciples it was a huge problem, because if masters are just leaving this world, what to do next? Because there was no successor for him. And by the way, Yogi Ramak was a nice guy who told us so many times, like, it was like Lahiri Baba actually, yeah, the same idea that if you create any institution about, around, whatever, blah blah, for Kriya Yoga, then next day Kriya Yoga will die. Because institution is financial, sometimes even political, but for sure financial stuff. If you have institution, means you have to manage your property, bank account, and then immediately management, then no self-inquiry, because self-inquiry and spirituality must be perfect freedom. You're not depending on anybody. But if you have institution, immediately you have rules, like go this way, do not go that way, read these books, do not read that books. That's not spirituality. That's the reason why, like in 19th century, Lahiri Baba told, no institution. And Yogi Ramak also no institution. And for him it was no institution for the Kriya Yoga. Of course, maybe he established, built medical hospital, but it was not about Kriya Yoga. So when he left his physical body, was no successor. What to do? Yeah? And some people knew that actually, he was teaching basically Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, but that's preliminary technique, that's not real Kriya Yoga. And for some disciples was the question, how can we learn the rest of Kriya Yoga? So many questions. And for me it was also like in the end of 90s, he told me that I'm going to teach. He told it to me. But then he left his physical body, what I have to do. And then later on, it was the beginning of 2011. So it means approximately 5 years after his, what we call Mahasamadhi. Then, something happened, and step by step, 2012, 2013, I started to teach people. And my first publication, first in Russian language, then we're planning to publish it in English and other languages, started like 2014, etc. And in the beginning, first 2-3 years, I was very much open. That was my feeling. It was I am not messenger from Mahatma Babaji, at least at the moment. I am not great Mahatma, at least at the moment. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow Mahatma Babaji come to me and say, you're going to be my messenger. Now I am just a normal human being. Sometimes in my lucid dreams, I may experience some messages from Mahatma Babaji or Sathya Sai Baba, and then according to that messages, I make my steps. And Yogi Ramak was really great because of many reasons, and one of them was that he was not pretending that he like kind of demigod or god. He was, his message was that he is the human being, he is on the way, he already realized something and still going to realize something else. And he was always pointing to the Mahatma Babaji, to Goraknath. He was like empty. The perfect guru is empty. and Yogi Ramak was the perfect one. Sometimes he could behave in an unusual way and, make scandal, tell you go, stupid idiot. But spiritually speaking, he was empty. That means now, maybe 1 or 2 times I saw him in my mystical dreams, but normally if I need instruction, I receive it from Mahatma Babaji and Sai Baba. And by the way, Mahatma Babaji and Sai Baba is the one team. Like one bunch of great masters who are leading this planet Earth and this wonderful and stupid humanity. And in my first 2, 3, 4 years, I was very much open, and I was easily give all techniques to any person who may come. And even it was a few seminars and workshops, like normally I have 2 kinds of seminars, 3 days, and the second choice 12 days. Normally if it is 12 days program, it's in India, and 3 days in any part of the world. And I was easily giving that because that was how it was. And it's extremely difficult, almost impossible to teach 18 techniques within 3 days. Almost impossible. 3 days, 18 techniques, just impossible. Even now, I don't know how it's happened, but it was like kind of 3 or 4 seminars when I really done this. I can't even understand how it's happened, and some friends who actually took part in that kind of programs, even now they're in the kind of shock, but they keep on learning meditation techniques. Okay, but now it's not like that. Now I prefer to give 1, 2, 3 techniques, and then people start to tell me that I am greedy and that I don't want to share. But it's depend on instructions, depend on the people. And of course, when I have some personal private classes with somebody, that's much easier for me to understand and to feel, okay, this much this person may receive, and much easier to teach all 18 techniques and all 144 bija mantras. Because when it is a group, then mostly people out of human nature wish more, but they can't understand for what actually, because we need not more techniques, but we need quality. And so that's the reason why it was like actually a period of time when all 18 techniques, at least in Russian language, was available in YouTube on my channel. Just for a couple of years, it was just go and watch all of them. Then I off it. Yeah, I think that we have to be conscious enough to know why we need meditation and bija mantras. And to practice, and if somebody is really practicing, then it's good to learn more. But just for the collection, what is the nice and what is the awful about modern spirituality? That I have many friends who took part in so huge number of seminars they even don't remember the names of the gurus. They even don't remember the names of techniques. That's our time, how it is. Maybe it's good, maybe it's a divine choice, but it's like spiritual overeating and then vomiting, intellectual one. People are in a state of illusion that they know everything, but except only who am I? I know all techniques and all philosophical systems.
But I don't practice anything.
But I don't practice anything, and I still...
Because I know everything.
Yeah, I don't need to practice everything because I know everything. That's a huge illusion.